What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down the best wide receiver fundamentals that are going to help you change your game. So we're going to be talking about first when wide receivers and what does it actually mean to attack the leverage of a DB. Then we're going to be talking about the perfect pad level that requires to run a good route. And then we're going to be talking about the one single thing that's going to help you guys stay open on your routes. Not necessarily just get open, but also stay open. So I hope this video helps you guys out. But also, fellas, if you're a wide receiver and you want to get some work in with us this offseason, we're coming out and doing 6 different camps in 6 different states this offseason. So check out that very first link below if you want to train with us, fellas, and you are local to the Columbus, Ohio area, Chicago, Illinois, Dallas, Texas, Nashville, Tennessee, Salt Lake City, Utah, or Los Angeles, California. Or if you'd like to travel out, we'd always appreciate it, fellas. It's a 2-day long training camp. It's not one of those combines or showcases where you have 150 people out there. We're limiting spots, only 10 guys per position group, per age group. So I hope you guys can check it out. Hope you're interested. Check out that very first link in the description below. Let's get started with this video. So now, attacking leverage. If you know anything about playing wide receiver, you may have heard the phrase attack leverage before, or DB's leverage, understanding how to run a route. There are so many wide receivers out there that have been taught wrong. Like especially the young guys, they know how to do certain things. They know maybe how to run a route, but they don't know when to actually apply it. And that is something that we really try to get across here. When do you actually do the things that you practice and rep over and over again? You get a lot of trainers out there, a lot of coaches that will run the kids through, the cone drills, the footwork drills, the ladder drills. Maybe that's not necessarily bad, but there is no IQ behind that. There is no meaning behind that because they don't explain it. And that's what this is for. So attacking leverage is one of those things. So let's play this clip full speed. Rondale Moore is going to be running this kind of fade comeback type deal. So he attacks the leverage, makes a move, and then it is just a foot race to that back corner right there. So now let's talk about this. So when you come off the line, fellas, and you got a DB who's lined up inside shade and kind of like off man like so, you would want to attack his leverage on any given situation like this because that is what's going to move him off the block or keep him to the inside of you. So like a lot of guys, they don't necessarily know, like they've worked the releases before, this like kind of skip release that Moore does. They've worked a crossover move before, but how do you actually apply that? When's the right situation? And this is the correct situation. So Moore's obviously running a fade route to that back corner. What a lot of young wide receivers do, and they don't understand the fundamentals of this, is they'll just take off and run. They'll just go run to that back corner, not giving him any kind of threatening move to the inside, not threatening him with a slant. And all that's going to do is get him right on my hip and not give us any separation. You got to understand, based off of this guy's leverage, that's what dictates what I'm going to do off the line. So he's lined up inside shade. Why is he inside shade? These are the questions I need to ask myself. He's inside shade because he doesn't have any help to the inside, and he will not give up a slant right now. So if I'm running a fade, he's completely fine with me just taking off and running because that's what he wants. He wants us to go try to run to the sideline because his job is to get hands on me and squeeze me to the sideline and reroute me. So what Rondale Moore does a great job of here is attacking his leverage. That's what that means. So you attack his leverage like so, attack the inside leverage because that's where he's at. That threatens him inside. And if I sell this move, I threaten him with a slant, he's more inclined to react or to at least hesitate because what's his number one goal? Don't give up the slant. So if I could sell the slant, if I could sell like I'm trying to cross his face, that gives me way more space to operate and way more space for that quarterback to throw me open and put that ball to that back corner. That is textbook right there of what it means to attack the DB's leverage. So you would want to attack his leverage when you have a route that's away from the leverage. So if I have an outside route, like an out route, a corner route, a comeback, a fade to the back end zone, I'd want to attack his leverage because the goal is to move him so I have more space. I don't want to just run there because then my space gets closed down. Now, if you had to run a route like a dig route, for example, and let's say this was open field, I would probably want to attack his outside shoulder. Maybe attack his leverage initially, but attack the outside shoulder to restack or maybe to throw by and slip under. But that's for another conversation. But just know that's what it means when you hear people say, hey, you want to attack his leverage. Make sure we square him up and threaten him to the leverage that he is keeping. Okay, so let's play this thing again, full speed one more time. That is one of the best fundamental things that wide receivers can do. Everybody knows the footwork. Everybody's heard of the different drills, done the ladder drills, but how do I apply it? How do I apply that release that I just learned? How do I apply that stem that we were working on? Those are the situations you have to have on repeat in your head. So now, Second wide receiver fundamental is going to be pad level. So what is pad level? Pad level is something that means like pretty much body language, if you're going to break it down simpler, is how is your body on the stem of a route? And this is a textbook example of pad level. So let's play this thing full speed. So pad level is literally exactly how it sounds. The level of your pads. How are your pads going up into a route? So when you're running a route, fellas, what is a DB supposed to be watching in man coverage? Supposed to be watching your hips, right? So his eyes are going to be on your hips. So when you are running a route, so many wide receivers, what they will do is obviously he's running this like deep hook over the ball and he's snapping down. This is great, such a great route because there's no change in his pad level. What I mean by that is he does not raise up. He does not pop his chest up. He does not start to raise his hips up in the air and start to bring the chest up. He lets the hip drop slow him down. All he does is just drop his hips. The pad level from top to bottom stays the exact same. That's called having no indicators. If you're familiar with my videos, you've probably heard me say, hey, you don't want to give any indicators on the route. Indicators, one of the biggest ones, is raising up with your pad level, popping your chest up in the air, raising your chin up in the air before you snap down and drop your hips. All those things let this guy know, hey, I'm making a break. But if you can keep a good pad level, you don't raise your pad level, and you can run hard, that DB has no choice. Playing defensive back is one of the hardest things to do on the field because A, he's playing backwards, B, he has no idea what we're doing. So what do you think he's going to rely on? He's going to rely on us making a mistake, us raising my pad level, us slowing myself down. And all those things give away my route. But if I don't give it away with my pad level, if I keep my shoulders and my hips committed, I stay in a good position, I stay in an explosive position, that's not a tell. Now, the other reason you want to keep a good pad level into the break is you're faster like that. You're going to have more explosion. You're going to have more power at the break. You're going to be more balanced when you're in a good explosive position. Like if somebody's trying to push you over and you don't want to fall back, how are you going to stand? You're going to hunch forward a little bit. You're going to be in a good pad level position rather than standing straight up tall and just relying on maybe your feet to catch you. Good pad level is how we get more explosion, more balance, but also that is how we sell the route until the last possible second. So I'm going to play this thing again full speed. That is textbook with the pad level. So if you're not sure what I mean by when I say pad level or when somebody says pad level, that is what it means. That is one of the most essential wide receiver fundamentals that you can get down. Every single drill that you do, every single route that you run, you should have an emphasis of your pad level. Should never pop it up, should never raise up. Don't give that indicator. Let's play it again full speed. Great job by this wide receiver selling vertical, dropping his hips, and getting that DB to bail. So now, last thing. See, so many wide receivers do this, and sometimes it has to do with, maybe their quarterback not being as talented, but also because they just haven't been coached on this, and they're so used to the ball just being right there and them having so much separation. So the third fundamental that I want to talk to you about is accelerating out of the break, or as I like to call it, I call it phase three of the route, because on every single route, you have three basic things you need to do. You got phase one, which is sell vertical. You have to make sure that we are selling the 9. You got phase 2, which is the break point, whether that's like a single cut or whether that's when you drop your hips down. And then you have phase 3, which is the acceleration out of the break, aka winning the race. So when you go up into a route, all three things tie together. You got to be running hard. You got to have a good pad level. That's on phase 1. The break point, you're trying to create energy. You're trying to drop your hips explosively. You're trying to cut hard because that energy that you create leads to phase 3, which is acceleration, if you do one thing, and that's drive your arms and drive your legs out of there. So let's play this full speed. So this is going to be a post out. Some people call it a blaze out. So let's play it again. So he comes off, breaks to the post. Terry McLaurin breaks this thing off, and you see how he's accelerating out and trying to win the race to the ball. So especially on a double move, especially on any kind of outside breaking route or route where you got to come back to the ball, this DB knows he got beat. No DB gets beat, and he doesn't think he's beat. He knows he got beat when you beat him bad. So he breaks to this post, gets that DB to jump, and you see we got him to crash down. He's off balance. He's going to do whatever he can to try to recover on this thing. And you know what that means? He's going to be running full speed. So many wide receivers, what they'll do is they'll get separation, but they're not focused on keeping separation and getting out of the break. They'll break down just like so, but then their arms stop, then their legs stop, and they just kind of drift out of there. They just cruise out of the break. all you are doing is giving that DB time to recover. So if I can think, okay, where that ball's going to be thrown, it is a race there. I'm creating energy with my hip drop. I'm creating power with my cut, but it is a race to that spot. And you see how McLaurin, when he's coming out of this, keeps those arms driving, keeps those legs driving. He's ripping out of there to make sure that we win the race to the ball, and I get there before that DB gets there. So make sure, fellas, from top to bottom, we have to really, really emphasize selling vertical, good pad level, create energy with that break point, and make sure, fellas, that that energy turns to acceleration. It's like a 40-yard dash. Those first 10 yards of that 40-yard dash, call it the drive phase. You're trying to be as powerful as possible. And then that last 30, you are accelerating. That power turns into acceleration. Just like at this break point, that power, how low you drop into this route, how violent you are with your feet, how violent you are with your hips, that turns to acceleration. I just have to make sure I'm driving my legs, driving my arms, and I'm winning that race back to the ball. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time. Great job by Terry McLaurin selling the post and being able to create energy with that hip drop, accelerate out, and win the race to the ball so that DB does not recover. All right, fellas, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. We always appreciate the feedback. Always great to hear from you guys. And again, fellas, if you'd like to come out and get some work in with us, we're traveling out to 6 different states this offseason. We're coming out to Columbus, Ohio, Chicago, Illinois, Dallas, Texas, Nashville, Tennessee, Salt Lake City, Utah, which is new on our camp list, and then Los Angeles, California. So check out that very first link in the description below. We'd absolutely love to have you out. I'll see you guys next time.